always would feel bad because I didn't have any other kids. It's different that she has other siblings on her father's side, but she would always want a sibling in the home from me, right? And and sometimes she would say, I can't wait for you to meet a nice man and get married and have more kids. And I'll be like, in my mind, I'm thinking, girl, you're going to be waiting forever. You're going to wait for a long time. And now that you're 18, I'm like, girl, who finna have another baby?
It's time to start the show and educate the people. Oh. It's time to help you see just how you can be financially free with Cleo.
Welcome back to Financially Free with Cleo podcast. I am your host, Cleo Childress, and we are here for part 5 of the 5-part fear series, where I've been sharing some of my fears, why they exist, what I've been doing to push through them, and how you can do the same. So, last one, y'all, part 5. One of my other fears is fear of not being a good mom, fear of not being a great mom. So I was a teen mom. I was pregnant at 17, had my daughter at 18. I still finished high school, still went to college right after high school, but I still struggled financially. I struggled with my confidence, my self-esteem. I lived in several based on income apartments. I did always work a job, but I was always like kind of around the 30,000, 35,000 range for a long time. And the reason why this exists, the reason why this fear exists, fear of not being a good mom, is because I used to always wish I was in a better financial situation when I had my daughter. So I had her young, so I personally didn't have the finances to create the lifestyle I felt like my daughter should have had as a young girl. And I wasn't in a position to have any support from any family members, my mom at the time, she wasn't making a whole lot of money, and other people in my family, they got their own things going on. So I just would wish that I was better financially. I would think, I wish I had, I never had wished I had like rich parents, but I always used to wish that I had family that had a little bit more than what we had. Never was like, I wish we were millionaires, billionaires, anything like that. But I was like, I wish we had a little bit more. But then I thought about it. I was like, when you get a little bit, you're going to always want a little bit more. Always want a little bit more. Always want a little bit more. So as I, progressed in my, motherhood journey, just with me having my financial problems, me being evicted, having cars repossessed, I just felt terrible as a woman and as a mom because I'm like, I should know better. I should have been doing better. My daughter is looking up to me. She's seeing this. She's feeling my emotions. We can try to hide things as parents, right? As mothers, but these kids sense things. They see things. They hear things. So I just used to wish that I was a better mother. What I'm doing to work through those fears is not being so hard on myself, knowing that I was a mother at 17. I was trying to finish high school, go to college, work jobs. That's a lot to do at 17 years old. So what I'm doing to work through those fears is to acknowledge what I have been through. Looking to say, hey, Cleo, it is okay that you didn't have it all figured out at 17 because you wasn't supposed to. You're not supposed to be having no kids that early anyway. And the fact that you did, and you finished high school. Let's start there. You still finished high school because there are people who, there are young mothers who get pregnant as a teen and they drop out of school for several different reasons. Cleo, you finished high school. You are a great mother because you finished high school while you were pregnant and you went to college right after. Now, I'm not saying college is everything because it's not. But for me at that point in my life, I still went because I knew that's what I wanted to do. I still went to college. I still finished college. I always kept a job. I wasn't trifling, trying not to work and just collect government assistance. No, I worked and still was using government assistance to supplement my income I was getting from my jobs. So I still worked. Even though I made these bad financial decisions, Cleo, you still kept pushing. You didn't just quit. You almost did, girl. This is that self-talk, right? You almost quit several times, but I did not quit. I kept going. And I kept going to the point where I was like, you know what? I need to change my life because my daughter is getting older. When these kids get older, they start understanding more stuff, right? And I was like, I can't tell her she needs to learn how to manage her money when she see her mama being trifling with her money. So that's one of the things I'm doing to work through the fear of not being a great mom now, is to look where I've been and just acknowledge all of the struggles, but also look to see the wins that I had, the things that I accomplished, how I progressed over all these years. My daughter is 18 now, a freshman in college, and I still have those fears of not being a great mom in her teenage years, in her young adult years. For example, she does not like being the only child. She hates it. She never liked it. I can't relate because I'm not the only child on my mom or my dad's side. So I don't know how it is to be the only child. She never liked it. She always wanted a sibling. So I always would feel bad because I didn't have any other kids. It's different that she has other siblings on her father's side, but she would always want a sibling in the home from me, right? And, and sometimes she would say, I can't wait for you to, meet a nice man and get married and have more kids. And I'll be like, in my mind, I'm thinking, girl, you're going to be waiting forever. You're going to wait for a long time. And now that you're 18, I'm like, girl, who finna have another baby? If you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you're still struggling managing your money, you need to join me in the Daily Money Habits text community. Sometimes when we're trying to level up in our finances, we can get overwhelmed and not do anything at all. And then other times we start and we fall off track real quick. And I want to help you stay focused. So in the Daily Money Habits text community, you will get a text from me every single day with a financial affirmation to help empower you and help push you forward through this journey. And the second thing is an action step, me telling you exactly what you need to do every single day to reach those money goals. And you'll also get monthly financial workshops so you can continue on this education and helping you take action on all of this information that you are receiving. So text Money Habits, all caps, to 615-813-4827. It is a paid community. It's $37 a month. But hey, we got to invest in ourselves, right? If we want to see real results. So I will see you in the Daily Money Habits text community. But even as an 18-year-old, she's still like, I want you to have more kids. And I'm like, girl, you're not even in the household anymore. You off to college, living your own new life. Why you think I need to have another baby and you grown now? But that is something that I wish I did do. I wish I would have entertained relationships more and maybe have gotten married and had more kids so that she could have siblings. She always wanted a dog. I wish I would have been in a position to get her a dog. It did get to a point where I was able to, and I was like, girl, you're not responsible. You just want to play with the dog, but you don't want to clean up after the dog and train the dog, all of that stuff. A dog is work. It's like another child. It's another family member. So there's just certain decisions that I made that I am proud of, but then there are certain decisions that I made that I'm like, ooh, should I have done that? So another way I'm working through those fears is not wishing I would have did something differently. Just acknowledging what I did, what I didn't do, and knowing that I did the best that I could. Cleo, you did the best that you could. Parents out there, mothers, fathers, y'all have done the best you can, and you're doing the best you can. We can't dwell on, oh, I wish I would have done this, or I should have did this way. Parenting is hard. Yes, it's rewarding. Yes, it can be fun, but parenting is not easy. It is not easy at all. So when we be hard on ourselves and wishing we were better parents, it doesn't do anything positive. So that's how I'm working through my fear of not being a great mom. I look back at letters she's written to me telling me how she loves me and how she's appreciates me and what I've done for her. And that makes me feel good because even though sometimes our kids, they listen, sometimes they don't, but we know that they hear us. We know that they really do love us and appreciate us. And me just continue to build our relationship in this new season. My daughter and I are in a new season. She is a freshman in college at 18. I'm an empty nester now. This is a new season for both of us. So just being there for her through her transitions and making sure I'm doing what I need to do to continue to support her as not the Destiny that's a little girl, a little young teenage girl, but now she is a woman now. Now she's an adult. Yeah, 18 is still like a kid, but she's 18. She's technically an adult now. So do you have any fears? If you are a parent, do you have any fears about being a great father or a great mother? Do you have any fears, like if you're not a parent yet, do you have any fears around parenthood? Do you fear not being good enough to be someone's parent? Do you have fears around not being good enough to figure it all out? That's what I want you to work through. And what do you feel you need to do to work through those fears? You may need to do what I'm doing, but you may want to do or need to do something different to work through your fears. So I really appreciate y'all for sticking with me through these 5 fears. It's been a journey of sharing these fears. I share a lot about my life personally and professionally, but some of these fears I haven't shared before, but I wanted to make sure I vocalized my fears and letting you all know why they exist and what I'm doing to work through them to encourage you to do the same. Because if we want to have a better financial life, if we want to have a better life, career-wise, if we want to have a better life in all these different areas, we have to acknowledge the fears that we have, because those fears really control the things that we do every day. So if you're wondering why certain things is not working out for you, if you're wondering why you're still not here, you're still not there, you don't have this, start with your fears. What are you afraid of? What is holding you back? What is keeping you stuck? What causes you to do the things that you do every day? What causes you to do the things that you don't do? Like, why are you not doing certain things that you should do? Are you avoiding anything? Are you in denial about anything? It's hard conversations to have with yourself, but you have to have them. So not only have it with yourself, but find someone that's close to you, that really knows you, and that will keep it real with you. Talk to them about your fears. Don't just keep it to yourself. Talk with someone that loves you, cares about you, generally wants to see you do well in life, and talk with them about it. Help you work through it, because we can't do it by ourselves. So set some time this week to evaluate your fears on today's topic and the last other topics. Like I said, here's a quick recap. So the first one was fear of being broke, fear of not being good enough professionally, fear of relationships with people in general, fear of not being a great mom, fear of losing my mom and daughter. Those are some of my top fears that I'm continuing to work through and push through every day. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week for another edition of Financially Free with Cleo podcast.
You can be financially free with Cleo.